What is going on, my Concise Conversation family? I hope you guys are all doing well today on this fine Tuesday, May 3rd. I'm doing well. One day the class got canceled, so I'm chilling. So I decided to do a self-care video for everyone who is watching today. Especially my college students. I know that it's rough, especially on the UC system. I know that it's extremely rough out here and draining, especially if you're graduating. Trust. The list keeps going. But I'm just here to tell you today to take some time to take care of yourself, some time for self-care, some time for rest and nourishment, and some time to really tune into what you actually need, because I think at times life can keep going, and it's hard to really figure out what your body needs to recover. So I'm gonna help y'all out today. And today's video is specifically for my moon bitches. If you're not a moon bitch or you don't support moon bitches, this is not the right playlist for you. Get out of here. Get out of here. So today, I will be using this beautiful deck. I wish that you guys could see it better. But it is called the Rose Oracle. Oh, look at that. The Rose Oracle. So I've been using Oracle cards, or this deck, for like 2 months now, maybe 2 months, a month and a half. And Oracle decks have no ties to religion. They have no ties to anything like that. It's more of self-awareness of your soul and what your soul and your body needs to continue on this mission of life. So this one specifically, called the Rose Oracle, I think the main message of it is to understand that just how we perceive nature to have seasons, humans have seasons as well. So there's a common misconception that humans need to be in full bloom at all times and always be producing things and always be, just active. And I think that's a very unrealistic goal, because just like a tree or a rose, just how a rose, dies in the winter and, goes into the ground and regenerates and, has that seed in the ground which can come up in spring. That's exactly how humans are as well. So expecting yourself to always be on go and to always be blooming is just unrealistic. So I'm going to draw some cards for this Self-Care Tuesday. I hope you guys enjoy. I'll be at you right now. Okay, so your guys' cards are pulled. So that was just like a little demonstration of how I would pull cards for a reading for someone else. Excuse me. There's no proper way to do this. Whatever way feels comfortable for you, and allows you the best and I guess the most beneficial experience, is any way that you should do it. There's a lot of different YouTubers who do this, and a lot of different just people in general that you can look up and try and get some techniques from them, and so you can do it for yourself, or you can find someone to do it for you. I am always open. But let's get into it. So each Oracle deck or whatever comes with a little book that has explanations for every card. So let's just hop right into it. First card says open. It says open. Say yes, expand through the extremes, and trust life. This is going to be a short reading, so I'm going to read out all the things to you. If it was a little bit longer, I would just try and put my own interpretation, but I want you guys to get the full experience. So here we go. This is probably one of the biggest challenges of life, keeping your heart open through the extremes. No one is immune to the highs and lows of the human experience, from the ecstasy to the agony, the joy to the grief, the love to the loss. We can't bypass the difficult parts of being human if we really want to experience the bliss. And if you close your heart off to the grief, you won't be able to fully experience the joy. The rose teaches us this season after season. She knows that if she does not surrender to each of the seasons, come summer, she won't be able to bloom. Birth teaches us this too. The safer the mother feels, the more she can open. Living and dying with your heart open is truly a courageous act, as a life well lived is full of losses and tragedies, as well as great love, triumphs, and adventures. When we're going through difficult times, when we most want to separate, the healing is often found in connection, not separation. When we close our heart and shut down because the pain is too much, we often find ourselves more separate than before. The rose shows us how to open to the world, no matter what the day brings. This card is here to encourage you to say yes to life, to expand through the extremes, and to put your 2 feet wholly and completely in. Soul inquiry: how can you say yes to life? Yeah, so I've been getting this card a lot, and people who I've been doing readings for have been getting this card, and I think it's just a time in our life right now, especially as college students, because this is definitely directed to y'all, that we're just tired, and this is extreme tiredness. A lot of us have not stopped going to school for these 4 years, on top of having a social life, on top of doing extracurriculars, on top of having a job. So there's just a lot that we're doing, and I feel like we haven't had time to actually slow down and just be one with ourselves and actually rest. And this is obviously, like I said, a very extreme time in our lives, but what this card is telling us to do is to say yes to the extremes, because without the extremes of our lives, we won't be able to feel the extremes on the other end of the spectrum, which is extreme happiness. Life comes with its 2 different extremes, and to say no to the one is to say no to the other as well. So say yes to everything, but again, take time for self-care. Self-care, would you look at that? Would you look at that? This says, the sacred waters: nourishment, replenishment, health, rest, and self-care. And self-care. So, the sacred waters are the life-giving mother of us all. Her healing waters replenish us and give us life. We're made up of her. Like the rose, we need her waters to survive and thrive. We must drop our roots deep to receive the nourishment we so deeply need, to appreciate, protect, and honor the very thing that we take for granted. The mother of the sacred waters delivers the message to slow down and take care of yourself, particularly your body, to prioritize your well-being and live in a way that's sustainable. She reminds us to replenish and nourish ourselves and take care of our health all the time, not just when we feel unbalanced. You're being called to nourish and replenish yourself before you become brittle and parched. The mother of the sacred waters wants you to know that there's nothing more important in your life than to take care of your own sacred vessel of a body, and the earth is an extension of that. She wants you to treat yourself with tender care, to cherish your body and hers, to fill your well up until it spills over, and once it does, to find a way to give back from this place of plenty. To give your body what it's yearning for most before it turns into an urgent need. Soul inquiry: what is your body yearning for? So I always love doing these readings because there's 44 cards in this deck, and I picked 4 cards, and it's just interesting that as I'm doing a self-care video, this card comes up because it was meant to come up. This is the card of self-care. And a lot of us, again, don't really take the time to nourish ourselves and rest. And these are really big things in order to continue living a life in general. Like, your body needs rest, your body needs nutrients. So if we fail to give our body what we need, our body is going to slow down for us, whether we want to or not. So I think that's the main point of this card, to constantly be taking care of yourself, and not only that, make it a main priority for yourself before it becomes an urgent need, because it's going to become a need at some point. I'd rather you take care of it little by little than having to take care of everything all at once, especially in this time where we want to move on. A lot of us are graduating, a lot of us are moving on to bigger things, and you don't want to be hindered because you have to take care of yourself, when realistically you should be taking care of yourself on a daily basis. So that is that. And here we go. Lineage of the Rose. I love looking at the pictures too. Moved by the goddess, here for this soul call, gather. These times, these changing, divisive times, your soul chose to be here for this right now. You're part of a collective team led by the goddess, by the mother of us all, to reweave the thread of the rose back into the tapestry of humanity, to make spaces where all people feel cherished and safe, to heal and be healed from the destructive patterns of patriarchy, to be part of the return of the goddess to the earth. If you've been doubting your path, you're being called to look within and trust the whispers and the weavings from caverns deep. The way of the mystic rose is walked by few and known by heart, not mind. Try not to overthink, rather trust the threads that are woven deep. This card contains within it a confirmation of the inner call and a reassurance that you are not alone in it. The mother of us all thanks you for being part of these changing times for humanity. She acknowledges your devotion to doing your best to support yourself and others in the journey back home to themselves, to each other, and to the earth. She wants you to know that she is available to guide you every step of the way. Speak, sing, and dance with her. You are led, you are led, you are led. Soul Inquiry. How are you being called to commit more deeply to humanity and the earth? I love this card because, especially me being from the East Coast and not really having, I guess you could say, parental figures here, it does get lonely. It does get lonely at times, and it does get confusing where you don't feel like you have that support system that you desperately need, But this is a card of guidance and the card of support, saying that we are all here for a reason, and whatever you believe, but our souls came here for a reason, to interact with this earth and to complete our soul missions and whatever that might be for you. And that's a lonely journey at times, but this card is here to tell you that you are never alone and you're not alone. And even though at times it feels like that, you can turn to God, you can turn to your soul, your own internal soul, for guidance, because a lot of us know way more than we think that we know. And if you take the time to listen to yourself and be still, you will realize that you know a lot and you're always going to be there for yourself. But this is a card of guidance and support, to realize that you are led and you are divinely guided, and that you will always have a support system when you need one. So that is that. And then we have the return. But before we get to this card, what I like to do is, so this card is sitting right here on the top of the deck. So as a little bonus, I usually take this card down, and whatever card is after, this card was meant to be read as well. So before we get to the last card, we're going to read this card real quick. And this is not a shocker, but it makes sense. So this card is called The Wastelands. And it says, sustainability, slow down, tend to your garden. So There's an anonymous 13th century French myth in the form of a poem called The Elucidation that tells the story of a king who abuses the land he's supposed to be the guardian of. The king breaks the trust of the well maidens, the spirits who are guarding the wells of the land, and they flee. The waters run dry, the plants wilt, and the land, which was once rich and fertile, becomes barren, creating a wasteland. This is the most powerful card in the deck. It's a wake-up call for all of us to stop to the destructive behavior that's resulting in us becoming brittle and unable to live in a sustainable way. The sacred feminine is abundant. She knows the earth can provide for what we need, and she does not need to take more than she needs. She tends to the earth around her and within her. She's the keeper of balance and the protector of all living things. The rose has seen civilizations come and go, empires rise and fall. In this card, she's delivering an urgent message to slow down and stop any way of being that's not sustainable, to release anything that's making us brittle, to tend to our garden and our bodies and the earth around us. Soul inquiry: what way of being is no longer sustainable for you? So I didn't have to say it. They said it. This is the most powerful card in the deck, and it's an urgent wake-up call. And it's fitting that this card was pulled during this reading because this is the first reading. This is the first Oracle reading that I'm doing on my YouTube channel, and it's fitting that, again, that it's a self-care one, because I think we are in a time that people really need to slow down and take care of themselves, because this facade of a life has been go, 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 work, 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 create, 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 without any time for rest, relaxation, and just slowing down and self-care. And I think that it gets really dangerous when people become sick and they don't even know why they're sick, but their body is telling them that I need a break. I need to slow down. I need to rest. And it gets detrimental when we don't listen to that. So this is definitely a huge wake-up call for everyone to slow down, take care of yourself, and live in a way that's sustainable for yourself. Because sustainability, not only for ourselves, but the earth should be the top priority, Because if we cannot sustain a healthy earth, or we cannot sustain healthy bodies for ourselves, then we cannot complete any soul mission, So this is definitely a wake-up call to slow down. Slow down and live sustainably. And then we come to the return. So exciting, the return. A new story, you decide, alignment, it's coming together. So the way that I look at Oracle readings, or readings in general, is as a story. And the story always has a beginning and end, and this is the end. I think this is a beautiful card to end off this reading because it's a new story, and you get to decide where you go next from here. So let's see. You've waited patiently for this moment. You see our seniors? You've likely been working on the inner for some time now, and the outer is becoming to come into alignment. As changing begins, we're in a never-ending growth cycle. This doesn't mean that we're constantly in bloom. No. This card means that we're constantly changing. This card is like the bloom, however, it's more powerful than that. It heralds the coming and going of a whole new way of being. An entirely new story has been written. This card heralds a great shift in your life. This often takes time, sometimes even lifetimes. Acknowledge how far you've come and how much you've grown. You're a part of creating change, not only in your life, but in the world. Take a moment to take it in. You're just one of many, but your being here matters. A petal in the rose of a new humanity, part of the forever unfolding. Things are aligning for you and around you. They're convening and coming together. You're in the right place at the right time. Your outer world matches your inner world. This card is delivering a message of harmony, coming together, and the embodiment of holding a clear vision for many years. You've been doing the groundwork to get to this moment right here. Perhaps for months, years, or even lifetimes. Use this moment. You get to decide what happens next. Rose transmission. I acknowledge how far I've come and how much I've grown. I decide what happens next. I think this is a beautiful card to end off the reading because you always have a choice. Everyone has a choice in their life, and especially when I do readings for people or I give people advice or guidance, that I think is in the highest interest of their life. It's obviously up to them to decide what they want to take and what they want to leave. And I think with readings, it's just like that too. Not everything is going to align to you right now. Not everything is going to make sense right now. But trust in the cards and trust in the message that they have for you, and take what you can right now, even if it's just a little bit. Take what you can and implement it into your life, and let that show you what you need to work on and what you need to fix in order to be sustainable and complete your soul mission. Because one thing that if you take one thing away from this reading, I would definitely want it to be that you need rest and you need to recharge, because there's no way that you can continue living life and even think about a soul mission if you are not healthy, and I'm not saying not healthy in the sense that you're sick or you have a disease or whatever in that sense. I'm saying you're not healthy because you can't even get out of bed in the morning because you're exhausted, so listen to yourself, listen to your body, and realize what you need is here for you. Everything that you need is within you, and all the keys that you need to unlocking the doors on your journey are around you, so understand that you get to decide, and this story is for you and it's coming together. So that is my reading for today. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope this opened your eyes or aligned to you in some way. But I hope you guys are all doing well, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace out.